Neural processing. What do we mean by neural processing? We have learned that process of sensation, which is experiencing external or internal stimulation through sense receptors and interpreting that information through the brain. So, sensation is information received through the senses. That information reaches the brain and it is received through the sense receptors. Now, knowing that, we have also seen that there are neurons, and those neurons have a structure and they have a chemical process. Now, how does the process takes place? Neural impulses from sensory receptors are sent to the brain and spinal cord for processing. Now, the central nervous system means the brain, and then we have spinal cord, which goes down from the end of our neck all the way down our back. The spinal cord has also the ability to process information from our senses. ये जो हम खुद को सीधा रख के चलते हैं या हम झुकते हैं, और अगर एक इन्फॉर्मेशन आपको आई है सेंसेस के ज़रिए, कई दफ़ा ब्रेन में जाने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं होती. आपकी बॉडी के बहुत से प्रोसेसेस जो है वो स्पाइनल कॉर्ड मैनेज कर रहा होता है, जिसमें सेंसेशन भी है, जिसमें मूवमेंट भी है, जिसमें ब्रीदिंग वगैरह की भी चीज़ें हैं, क्योंकि ऑटोमेटिक प्रोसेसेस होते हैं. आप खुद ही पीछे हट जाते हैं कोई चीज़ आगे आए तो उसमें आपका स्पाइनल कॉर्ड जो है वो इन्फॉर्मेशन रिसीव कर रहा है. सो देयर आर two centers, the central nervous system and the spinal cord. तो nerve impulses, neural impulses इन दोनों तक जाती हैं. After the brain has processed the information, neural impulses are then conducted from the brain and spinal cord to muscles and glands, which is the resulting motor output. आप कभी किसी uncomfortable position में बैठे हो, you actually, without thinking, adjust your posture, or you have to lift yourself up to adjust your posture, or you change your sides while you are lying down to sleep. The spinal cord also processes information and it sends commands to your relevant body part through the motor neurons to carry out a certain movement, or there are certain functions which automatically go on in our body. They are also monitored partly by the spinal cord. So that's the processing that happens. Now, behind all of these processes, what we see happening is that we move something. What we see happening is that there's a stimuli in the environment. You have seen it. You may not attend to it, but the sensory information is sent to your brain. You may see, for example, there is a tap open, पानी का नलका खुला. You may not stop to close it, but the information has reached your brain. So there may not be an output through the muscles, an order to the hand to close it, but your brain sensory nerves have conveyed the information to your brain. And similarly, you may see a fallen object, the sensory information has reached, but an accompanying or a responding motor action is not taking place because at level of brain, your motor neurons have not been ordered to do any action or to move or to open or to close. See, in every little action, whether I'm doing this or I'm doing this or I'm clapping, a brain order is involved. Now, there is no stimulus when I want to clap. It's just a command from the brain. In this processing, as we learn, our neuron plays a very important role, and actually they are the building blocks of all the sensations that we have. And the action terminal inside the synaptic vesicles, when there is no neurotransmitter across the synaptic, as you can see, the dendrites action, the axon and the cell body send the signal to the next neuron, and from where it receives the signal through its axon. The example of sensation neural processing is stimulus goes to receptor, the receptor goes to control center, and control center generates the effector, the the action end of the neural processing. Same in human being. A stimulus is hot, the information goes to brain through all the neurons and through all the nerve cells and goes to the relevant area, and your response is that you say ouch, your hand felt hot, and your response is to not touch it again, and maybe you try to then cool down your hand because you have experienced the heat from the extremely hot object.